I think I might do that. Yeah, I think I might do that. Good morning.
Good morning, yes.
I'm Cheska, this is Ben, and this is our little hitchhiker river. We've spent the last year travelling Europe in our self-built sprinter van Sophia, but new horizons are calling. In 2021, we'll be driving all the way to Cape Town, South Africa. Before we go, we're making some upgrades to Sophia to get her ready for those African roads. Subscribe and join us for the ride.
Even when she
That's what I mean, it's going to take a while.
No, it'll be alright, babe. Good morning, guys. First job today on the van build is to get our spare wheel carrier off. We mentioned this in last week's video because we've got the new tyres. They don't fit underneath the van anymore in the spare wheel carrier. We've got it mounted on the back doors. This means that spare wheel carrier is just wasted weight. So we're going to attempt this morning to try and get it off in the new Baltic temperatures. It was so warm last week, and today it's like, what does it feel like, -2 or something?
-2, yeah.
So we're going to try and get this off. As we mentioned, big thank you to Luke and Faith for Wandering Nancy, who gave us this idea. Absolutely great shout. They made it look really easy. So I think it should save about 7 kilos of weight, which is really good. So we're going to give that a go this morning.
I've dropped the carrier this side and just taken these bolts out. Bolt out now. As you can see, it's that cold. I've got some super thick gloves on now. Oh. Ow. Oh. Okay, so I'm going to have to disconnect the water inlet. Have you got the small flathead screwdriver though? So what's happening is the bolts I need to take out, the bolt, the nut is just twist spinning. I need to hold the bolt the other side. So to get to it, I need to take the water tank down, which is a pain, but needs must. Oh. Just drop the bolts. Okay, take those two maybe. Well, that came down a lot easier than I expected. Oh yes.
Oh, well done.
Oh.
Well done, Rose. That looked a right pain in the arse.
There it is, the wheel carrier. Now, the only problem is, yes, we had to drill holes in it originally to fit the water tank, so the bracket sits in there. Now this is obviously not there. That's the highest bracket we've got. Now, because we've got a water gauge sat on the top, it kind of pushes the tank down slightly. So the two of the hook brackets we've got, I'll show you, or this one, is just slightly too short. So what we're going to do is we're going to order just some longer ones of these, and then these will hook into the standard van fitting for where the wheel carrier fits, and then we can put the water tank back on.
Can I just say, you've got a little bit of black. You got a little Cleopatra look going on now.
Where is it? I can't see.
Just here, and it's like flicked up. Like
oh, Cleopatra. I've been watching you do your makeup stuff.
Well, I decamped into the patio area. It is so windy today and like biting cold. So I need some shelter if I'm going to be building these cabinet doors. They're pretty much all made now. They just need body filling, sanding and priming. So that is my job this week, to get all of these done. We have finished our little prototype and it looks amazing. So happy with how this turned out. As you can see, you've got the rattan on there, just stapled on. And what I'll do is I will show you how I make these cabinet doors in case you're interested in doing something similar. But yeah, really happy with how they've turned out. So just got to repeat this about 10 11 times. This is the rough template of the door. It is made from 12mm ply, which we just cut down to size as a single sheet and started from there. From this halfway point, I then used a compass just to create the kind of arch shape at the top. So then we use a jigsaw to cut the arch out. We then used, it's like 3mm edging, which we wood glued and nailed in to secure it to the outside, and that gives us basically our basic frame and the shape that we're working with. But obviously it's a bit rough and ready. Obviously the edges aren't completely smooth, they don't all line up, so now we need to start sanding and sanding and sanding and body filling to get these looking really nice and smooth. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is just sand all of these edges so that they're as kind of smooth and level as possible. Like here's a bit of a lip, obviously there's the wood glue on there. And then once I've sanded the outsides, I'm going to sand especially this inside bit here and up here and just kind of make all of these outside bits as smooth as possible. So this is looking a lot smoother now. What I also do is run the sander just along the edges of the cupboard door, just to soften them and stop them being so kind of sharp. And I think of what's to come. Well, would you look at that? It started snowing. 21 degrees last week, snowing today. Welcome to England in the spring.
There's a blizzard. In April. What you would have thought, eh?
April showers, really.
April showers, yeah. You never hear April snowstorm, do you?
So I managed to get all of the sanding done before the snow got really heavy, but now it is soaking wet everywhere and it is starting to settle. Can you believe this? Like last week we were just saying how amazing the hot weather was, and now it's literally snowing and settling on the garden chairs. What I think I might do is try and, I don't know if this is a bit optimistic, but I'm going to try and set up the marquee. We only put 2 sides on the marquee, so I think I might put the other sides on because the wind has died down. It was so windy earlier and that marquee does not handle the wind very well. What I might do is put the marquee up and then at least get these cabinet doors body filled and get them drying in there. But do I risk it because if it gets really windy and then think, oh, it's just body filler, isn't it? I'm not painting them. I think I might do that. Yeah, I think I might do that. Okay, the show will go on. Right, let's... It's like a fully forensics tent. So just to let you know, the body filler we're using is the Big Boy body filler. We absolutely love this stuff. Used it in the last build on the cabinets and it's just so good. It's the wood filler that you mix with a hardener, so it dries really tough. What am I doing? So what I'm doing here is I'm just body filling all around the edges on here, and I'm also body filling this inner arch along the bottom there, and also all of these joins where the edging meets on the front surface bit. That's all I'm body filling. I'm going to leave that to dry and then I'm going to go back and sand it all completely smooth, and then it should, fingers crossed, be ready for priming. But that's basically what I do with the body filler. God, I don't know how much longer I can stay out here. It's getting pretty nice. Shit. Fucking hell. it's really blowing and it keeps like lifting up, and like I keep having to pull it back down again. So, but I'll put everything away now, I think. And I managed to get 2 cabinet doors done. Better than nothing though, isn't it? Oh, my hands are numb. Okay, just look at the weather.
We're just leaves.
Well, the snow has stopped and we have got glorious, glorious sunshine. What is going on with the weather at the minute? I have no idea. Good morning.
Good morning, yes.
Do you want to explain what you're doing?
Okay, so we decided that we wanted an even smoother ride, and we have gone and upgraded our bump stops, well the front ones at least, to some Sumo springs. So to help with like bumpy roads, van sway and just overall comfort. I was speaking to Sumo Springs in the US, and they recommended, of course, these front bump stops to start with, but it was really expensive to get them shipped from the US. I think it worked out, it was like 300 quid for a pair, and then it was like £200 shipping. Found a company in the UK that had them, got them ordered, and just fitted the first one, and it was really easy. All we have to do is jack up the van. This is the old bump stop, so whenever you go over, you know, the axle, the chassis axle hits onto there, whereas this sits actually on the axle and just rides along. It compresses. You can't physically compress out of your hands, but obviously with the weight of the van, it compresses and gives a nice ride. So you have to jack the van up until there's no weight on the axle, so the tyre sits down, so you can get the this in. Because obviously, you know, it's much bigger than what we've got. I've moved the tyre out because I was trying to get in. Let me see. So here,
Oh yeah.
that there is the factory one. So you can see, yeah, there's a big gap between. So you just undo this bolt. Now on the other side, it was tight as anything, and I hadn't put any WD-40 on. Whereas on this one, and it was a nightmare to get off the other one. On this one, I sprayed it with WD-40 about 5 minutes ago, and it's coming off
A lot easier.
nicely. Yeah. There you go. See, that easy. Bump stop out. Go in. Easy as that. Oh my word, stinging nettles there. Okay, so it's really fiddly to get the bolt onto the thread which is in there. And one trick, hold the bolt in there, and you can use like Vaseline and then plonk it on, or a bit of masking tape. And as you tighten up, the masking tape comes out. So 2 bump stops. This place is jar. I was really surprised at how easy that was to put in. I'm by no means a mechanic. I know a little bit, but by no means a great deal. And that piece of cake.
So, all of my cabinet doors have been body filled. I spared you the footage of me sanding down every single one of these, but I basically just used, this is a really great little kind of handheld sander from Black & Decker, 120 grit paper. So these are ready to be primed. What I'm going to do first, but before I start priming it, to give it as smooth a finish as possible and to get rid of as much sand and dust and kind of bits, I'm going to be brushing down each cabinet door. You can see how much sanding dust comes off. That stuff gets everywhere. And then once I've done that, I'm just going to give it a quick once over with a damp cloth, and that just makes it as smooth as possible, ready for the paint. So, got a lot to get through.
Just as well as anyone. Hard to accept that I'm just anyone. You're the only life I know. Those summer days rush out like water from
Okay, so first coat of primer is done. Before I put the second coat on, what I'm going to do is just run over the wood with very, very fine sandpaper, just to take off any bits that might have come up with the paint. And then again, just wipe it off with a damp cloth just to smooth it out again. It's a long process. Okay, so as you can see behind me, fruits of my labour. This is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 cabinet doors, sanded body filled, primed, ready for painting. Just kind of letting the second coat completely dry. And then this should be good to paint. I'm hoping to get the paint on today. Fingers crossed. But while that's drying, we are going to start fitting our water system. It's a pretty basic water system. We don't have a boiler or anything like that, so it should be fairly straightforward to put together.
Oh, don't say that.
Try and update everyone on the
Oh yeah, yeah,
so
you sorted the water tank.
okay, so we didn't need to order new brackets in the end. Just had to do a bit of jiggery pokery. The tank wasn't sitting quite up against the chassis last time, so when we put it back up this morning, I managed to get these brackets in and tightened, and they've both got nylock nuts on, and the other side as well. So yeah, we were lucky we didn't need to order any more brackets. 12 centimetres.
Well, it looks like River might have run off with our pipe reducer, which is a bit of a pain. So the pipe going from the tank is 16mm, and then to internally it's going to 12mm. So we had a reducer, and River ran off of it last night. I managed to get it off her, and I put it down, and I think she's taken it again today. I'm checking both ends of these pipes. It's not still in there.
Don't you go slinking off? Where's the reducer? Eh? You hid it somewhere. So I was just upstairs and I heard a aha!
Aha!
Oh, where was it?
It was, shall I show you? All the water stuff is here. So I left it here. Now, Madam has been a bit sneaky today, and she keeps hopping over our little barrier and coming down here, doesn't she?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's here.
How did you find it there?
Because she trotted down here with a ball. I was just watching where she was going, and she just trotted over here, and as I was watching her...
She stashes stuff, doesn't she?
Look, this is where she was going. Reducer, which is up here, comes out on a 60mm pipe. At the moment it's just cable tied onto here for the moment until I've got a stainless steel bracket and some self-tappers to hold it in place. Then it runs to here, then it runs to there into a reducer, so from 16mm then to 12mm. Then that runs up and then into the van. As you can see, pipe comes up here, it's going to run along here, then it's going to run all the way along here. Behind this now here is going to be siliconed and Sikaflexed in, so it's watertight, so that if there is any leak, our electrics are up here, our batteries there, the batteries are sealed anyway, so if it is a leak it's contained.
Is that all done?
That is all run up to there, yeah. That was a piece of piss now, I had all the stuff. We do need to think about what we're going to do about having a water filter. Whether or not we have like one of the Osmo water filters, because what we can do when it gets to the pump after the accumulator, the pump's got a filter on anyway, but obviously going to Africa it'd be better to have a filtration system. And we can split it off so after the accumulator we can split it off so that one line goes to the sink, and then another line will go to like a drinking faucet.
Like a filter tap.
Like a filter tap, yeah, basically, yeah. Is my thinking, because it'd be better to, rather than filter the whole system.
You just filter what
we
you
just
drink.
filter what we drink and have it separate. Obviously we've got the jerry can, which is filtered, but it'd be nice to have a fixed in filter system. So So if anybody's got any recommendations on like a 3-tier filter system or a water filtration system that they've got or used, or know someone that has, please let us know. It'll be fantastic.
Today is the day. If all goes to plan, we should be able to get all our cabinet doors finished. Can't believe I'm saying that, but fingers crossed it happens. So we've got the test one we did, all hung up, looking really good. Now I've just got another 12 to do. Okay, just to briefly let you know what paint we're using, because I know some of you will ask. We are using, I did mention this the other week, but we're using Farrow and Ball, Stony Ground. There's a couple of reasons we went for Farrow and Ball. One is that it's just obviously a really, really good quality paint with a lot of pigment. We do have a line of paints called the Estate Emulsion, and they're meant to be like scuffable, wipeable, washable. And obviously because a lot of our cabinets are going to be at floor level and we didn't want a really dark colour, we wanted a really good quality paint that we can like wipe clean and keep clean, because it's probably going to get scuffed and dirty. So that was our kind of main reasoning. In the last build we used a fairly cheap B&Q paint, and it just wasn't very good quality. It scuffed really easily, came off, chipped in places. So yeah, we've gone Farrow and Ball this time. No, they're really, really good quality, and their choice of colours is really, really nice. A lot of like neutrals and stony colours, which is kind of the vibe we're going for. So that's why I went for Farrow and Ball. Definitely on the pricey side of paint, but should be worth it. These are my life's work, so I don't want them getting scuffed. So Farrow and Ball it is.
So let's see. Ooh. Pardon? Apparently little flies are dive bombing dive bombing Cheska's painting. So this morning I'm going to try and connect up the water pump and the accumulator. Let's bring it down here. So nope, it's not going that way. God. It's going to go in here. So as you see, the water pipe runs there. And I'm going to put the water pump here and the accumulator there. So I'm going to build just a little frame to put some plywood on, and then we can attach the pump accumulator to them. And then I think, bar connecting up power and the tap, which we'll do when I've got some blanks and some other bits, I think the water is in. The water pipe comes up from there into the filter, pump, accumulator, and then that will go off into the sink, into the tap once it's done.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Here it comes.
Yeah, look at that! Look at that! Woo-hoo.
We have water.
Awesome.
Cool. Please may you turn it off.
It's been a productive day of painting and getting these cabinet doors done. I've got my first batch finished, ready for the rattan. I'm now just on to the last few, and while I finish those and paint them, Ben is painting our framing inside. It's all coming together.
Starting to make
Progress.
some really good progress now, haven't we?
Yeah.
Cupboards nearly all painted. The first undercoat's gone down the interior. All I'm doing is just giving the ply and the framing just the first undercoat, let it all soak in, and then we'll give it another undercoat, and then the final coat. Well, I'll let Chess do the final coat, because that's going to be paint, because that's going to be like the really detailedy fiddly bits.
I think that is it for this week. We're actually going down to Devon this weekend to go and see Ben's family, which is something we've been looking forward to for a long time. So we really need to pack up our stuff now, and unfortunately I haven't been able to put the rattan on the cupboard doors. I was so hoping I'd be able to, so I could show you in one video like the whole process of making these cupboard doors. But to be honest, I think you've seen like the big bulk of it, because all I do next is just cut the rattan to size and staple it onto the back. But I would definitely be doing that next week. That is my first job next week, 100%. To do all of this interior work or the painting, it can be time consuming, but it is totally worth it because it just transforms the inside of the van. And yes, we should also be picking up our table next week as well, which is very, very exciting. But yeah, so we're gonna go and pack up all our stuff now, ready to head down to Devon, and I will leave the video there. So please give this a like if you enjoyed it, and if you're new here, please feel free to subscribe, as we are almost finished. I don't want to say that word. We are nearing the end of completing our van build, which has been going on for a long time now. But yes, please feel free to subscribe here if you're new, and we shall catch you guys next week. Bye.
Hello and welcome back to another instalment.
So much stuff in your hair.
Oh, so I've been lying on the floor.
You look like the Wicked Witch of the West when she's squashed by the house. And you act like it too. They do have a line of paint called... He always does that. Because I don't think this was the best idea.